Good. Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. Shabbat Shalom again to you online. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs reflected on his first meeting with the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson. He was an undergraduate at Cambridge, and he had gone to New York to meet the Rebbe to gain some wisdom about his own path of studying philosophy. You know, as an Orthodox Jew, his choice to study philosophy in a secular university was unusual. For secular institutions were for science, medicine, and law, and if you weren't studying those, well, you continue at a higher learning yeshiva, higher level. The focus of the meeting, though, was quickly turned around, and the Rebbe inquired about Jewish life on campus in Cambridge. How many Jews were there? Were they engaged Jewishly? And what was Sachs going to do about it? Rabbi Sachs wrote, "This was wholly unexpected and life-changing. Here was one of the leaders of the Jewish world taking time, considerable time, to listen to an unknown undergraduate student from thousands of miles away and speak to him as if he mattered, as if he could make a difference. He was powerfully and passionately urging me to get involved, and years later, looking back on that encounter, I summed it up by saying that good leaders create followers, great leaders create leaders." Well, in our tradition, our greatest leader and greatest prophet was Moses. 6 of his qualities are highlighted in the piyut, the liturgical poem known as Aint Adir or Mipiel. It is a Hebrew acrostic in 6 verses. Each verse follows the same order, praising characteristics of God, Moses, Torah, and Israel. And Moses is referred to by his patronym, Ben Amram, the son of Amram. Now, some of you may know this. I'll only sing one verse. Mipiel, Mipiel, Yivarach kol Yisrael. Mipiel, Mipiel, Yivarach kol Yisrael. You can join in if you know it. Aint Adir k'Adonai, v'ein Baruch k'ven Amram, ein Gedolah k'Torah, v'ein Darshaneha k'Yisrael. Then the chorus continues, and then the rest of the acrostic. And what does that mean? Mipiel, from the mouth of God, all of Israel is blessed. There is none as mighty as God. No one as blessed as Amram's son, nothing great as the Torah, and no interpreters like Israel. Stanza 1, Ein Mevorach, there is none blessed as the son of Amram. The poem goes on to describe 5 more characteristics of Moses. Ein Vatik, there are none as trustworthy as the son of Amram. Ein Yashar, there is none as righteous as the son of Amram. Ein Navi, there is no prophet like the son of Amram. Ein Tzadik, there is none as just as the son of Amram. Ein Rachum, there is none as merciful as the son of Amram. The poem describes Moses as blessed, trustworthy, righteous, a great prophet, just and merciful. And in addition, the Torah describes Moses as the most humble man that ever lived. In this week's Torah portion called Pinchas, we learn more about Moses' leadership attributes. God tells Moses that he will ascend Mount Abarim and die there, and he will not lead the Israelites into the land of Israel. And Moses responds to God in Numbers chapter 27. Vayidaber Moshe el Adonai lemor. Moses spoke to Adonai, saying, Vayifkod Adonai Elohei ha-ruchot lechol basar ish al ha'edah. Let Adonai, source of the breath of all flesh, appoint someone over the community. Asher yetzeh lifneihem, ve'asher yavo lifneihem, ve'asher yotziem, ve'asher yaviem, ve'lo tihiyeh adat Adonai Kitzon asher ein lahem ro'ah, a man who shall go out before them and come in before them, and shall take them out and bring them in, who shall lead them in all matters, and whom they shall follow and in all matters, so that Adonai's community may not be like a sheep who has no shepherd. Rashi commented, "So said Moses to God, Master of the universe, you know the soul of each and every individual. You know that they are not two alike. Appoint for them a leader who can relate to each and every one of them in accordance with his own individual spirit." Moses asked God, according to Rashi, for a tolerant leader for the Israelites, for he was worried that a strong and zealous leader, such as Pinchas, who we met at the last week's portion, would be chosen. And we learn from this that zealousness is not a good quality for a leader. God answers Moses, "Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, kach lachat Yehoshua ben Nun, ish asher ruach bo, v'samachta et yadcha alav." And Adonai answered Moses, "Single out Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom there is spirit, and lay your hand upon him." And according to Rashi, Joshua is the man that Moses asked for he is someone able to deal with the character of each Israelite. And we know from past Parshiot, they're not always so easy. And he is also the one that Moses knows best, for Moses has examined him well over these years. That is all very good, and that's what happens. But there's always a but. There are some other opinions about whom Moses would want to choose to be the next leader of the Jewish people, and it was not Joshua. And the Midrash asks the question, how come Moses' statement about finding a new leader, which I just shared with you, comes directly after the section in this Torah portion of Zelophehad's daughters asking to receive their father's inheritance? Midrash Numbers says, what was Moses' reason for making this request after declaring the order of inheritance? The women say, "We want a piece of the land that you're going to give out. My father has no sons. Give some to us." You'll hear more about it tomorrow. Anyway, just this, the Midrash says, when the daughters of Zelophehad inherited from their father, Moses reasoned, hey, the time is right for me to make my own request. If daughters inherit, it is surely right that my son should inherit my glory. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to him, "He who keeps the fig tree shall eat its fruit." That's from Proverbs. "Your son sat idly by and did not study the Torah. Joshua served you faithfully and showed you great honor. It was he who rose early in the morning and remained late at night at your house of assembly. He was the one who arranged the benches and spread out the mats. Seeing that he has served you with all his might, he is worthy to serve Israel, for he shall not lose his reward." In other words, service and dedication to learning must be attributes of leadership. By not appointing one of Moses' sons as the next leader, the Torah makes it very clear that leadership is not guaranteed by succession and inheritance. And that is unusual. That was a break from the other cultures. One may pass down a successful family business to one's child, but that also does not guarantee continued success. And there the Torah teaches us it's not going to happen for Moses either. There is another attribute of a great leader that I share with you tonight. It is a desire to lead. For some, it is a calling. They know it from the time they were children. They answer that call enthusiastically. In others, like Moses, it develops over time. Moses turned down God repeatedly 7 times to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites in the Exodus, and he kept denying him until God promised Aaron as a helper. And there are some people who become leaders out of necessity. They see a problem, they see no one else is emerging to lead, and therefore they make that decision, and they dedicate themselves to lead the way. For a leader without the desire and passion to lead will fail sooner or later. There is a funny story told. Well, it's funny if you have a Jewish sense of humor. David, you're on for this one. You'll laugh. I set you up, so you have to now. I'm not sure the rabbis meant it to be funny, but it's sort of funny. After the passing of Rabbi Shmuel of Lubavitch, the elder Hasidim gathered and decided to confer the mantle of leadership on his middle son, Rabbi Sholom Dovber. A delegation visited Rabbi Sholom Dovber and requested that he assume his father's place as Rebbe. Rabbi Sholem Dov Ber heard them out in silence, playing with the chain of his pocket watch, and did not respond in any way. Soon after they left, Rabbi David Tzvi Chain, an intimate friend of Rabbi Sholem Dov Ber, entered the room. And as soon as the door closed behind him, the new Rebbe burst into tears. "If you are truly a friend of mine," he wept, "you would tie a rope around my neck and secure it to a heavy stone and throw me in the water." Even Moses felt that way occasionally. And Moses was a leader for all times. Trustworthy, merciful, dedicated, humble, and passionate about his mission. Moses created a great leader in Joshua and inspired many more people, both Jews and non-Jews, to become great leaders of their people. He found that desire, and poor Rabbi Sholem Dov Ber knew it wasn't for him. But what do we do today? Today we continue to sing and praise, study and decipher the deeds and attributes of Moses, because from him we learn. We strive, too, to develop these qualities within ourselves so we are prepared to answer the many calls and needs of society. We seek leaders, too, with these same qualities, those with a passion to serve and inspire with dedication, with wisdom, and with justice. And we ask God, may those who lead serve us well. Ken Yeh Ratzon, may this be God's will. Amen.